came to America and contracted yellow fever and died. I think we've already covered the inscription here that he sacrificed his fortune and his life in the cause of his country. But I thought I would read to you the inscription that was on his second gravestone. He's been buried 3 times. Something important about the number of 3, right? 3 strikes, you're out. 3 persons in the Trinity, 3 leaves on the shamrock. 3rd time's a charm, and hopefully this will be his final resting place. But on his second gravestone, this is what was written. If the memory of a man who discharged all the duties of his station in life as a father, husband, and persecuted patriot claims a tear, here the tribute is due. And that's the tribute that we've gathered to pay here to a man who saw himself as an Irishman, first and last. Well, a couple of things just to think about. The rights that we hold dear as Americans, ideas like the freedom of press. And you see people trying to shut down this news outlet or that news outlet. Be very careful about that, even if you disagree with that news outlet. It's in the free and open exchange of ideas and information that we have our best shot at a decent society. And destroying the messenger does not destroy the message. The message, if it's a valid message, is able to be carried on. And so hold your rights dearly as Americans now, and don't let anyone take them away. Do your best to stand up for what's right, even when it costs you your sacred fortune. And the other thing that I think we learned from Samuel Neilson, if you've ever known anybody that was caught in this dilemma of doing what they believed was right and yet being criticized by others because they couldn't quite see the whole picture. There was a woman I knew when I grew up in the town of Pearl River, and there was a woman there who had been Roman Catholic, but in her heart she had become a Protestant. But she didn't want to tell her relatives. Why? Because she said, they'll think I've sold out to the English. Well, it had nothing to do with England or Ireland. It has to do with something that was happening inside of her heart. And there will be times in our lives when we have to seem to be doing the wrong thing, even though we're doing the right thing. I'm sure there were Protestants that said of Samuel Neilson, how can you side with the Catholics in this? And yet he knew in his heart that that was the right side to be on. That all people should have the right to vote. That all people should have the right to hold office. And such is the case, I believe now, in the Republic, that at that time was only a dream for him, but that today is operational in the Emerald Isle there. One last caution. My wife gave me a mug for my birthday. September 1st was my birthday. She gave me a big teapot and a big mug with green trim around it. And the mug says, to my enemy's enemies. And it means to my friends, right? But a word of caution. My enemy's enemies are not always my friends. And whether it's an alliance with the French, or the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or taking money from communist Russia, we need to be very careful of the alliances that we make. We need to do what's right and entrust ourselves to Almighty God to see through the rightness and the justice of our cause. When we align ourselves with people who are not necessarily our friends, we sometimes find ourselves drinking soup with the devil. And you all know that when you sup with the devil, you use a very long spoon. And so those are the lessons I thought that we could learn as Americans from the history of this great Irish patriot, Samuel Neilson. And it is to him that we pay tribute today. And I thank you for inviting me to be a part of this today. It's my great honor and privilege to have done so. God bless you all.
Thank you, Reverend.